Dear viewers and audience, I am very glad to welcome you all for this fourth ICT-enabled international conference on management and entrepreneurship. The objective of this conference is twofold: to explore contemporary issues in management and entrepreneurship, and to virtually connect, network with academicians and practitioners in the field of management and entrepreneurship. We have key speaker, Professor S.P. Garg from Chicago, USA. He has got 50 plus years of experience in the field of management and entrepreneurship. He has trained many scholars, students, and also corporate executives. He's here to enlighten us on crisis leadership. We have Professor Tan. He's from Thailand, Mephalwang University School of Management. He's a member in many global forums, and he has written a lot of articles and presented papers in international journals and also international conferences. And he's here with his team to enlighten us on emotional intelligence and also various other challenges in management, contemporary issues. We have Professor Raghuram. He's giving a special address. He's formerly a professor in Oman University, and now he's the management consultant here in India. And he's joining Professor Tan, and he'll be giving special address on emotional intelligence. We have Professor Moses. He's the principal of School of Management in Nehru College of Management. He's also with his team to enlighten us on marketing challenges. We have Dr. Meenakshi from Haryana, and she's institution. Professor Meenakshi has got more than 16 years of experience in the field of management, and she is also basically a corporate trainer. And we have Dr. Meena Kumari. She's from Anna University. She's a faculty member of Anna University, and she's coordinating activities in Anna University of various centers like IQAC, distant education, NIRF, and a few other very important centers. With this brief introduction about our chairpersons and also about our key speaker, let me welcome each one of them on behalf of Unique Research and Consultancy Services. I also extend a warm welcome to audience and participants of this fourth ICT-enabled international conference on trends and innovations in management and entrepreneurship. I'm sure their input would add value to our practices and also to this conference. Thank you so much. Once again, I welcome you all. Thank you.
Good morning to all. It's a matter of great pleasure for me to be here this morning on the occasion of this international conference on trends and innovations in management and entrepreneurship. I compliment the organizers of this unique research and consultancy organization, in particular Dr. Umaji, her team, and all others who have been associated with this one. It's a great pleasure for me to welcome my other key speakers also, who would be chairing the different sessions, in particular Dr. Sunilji, Dr. Meenakshi Pandeyji, Dr. Nagarajanji, Dr. Daniel, Dr. Raghuraman, Dr. Tain, Dr. Raja. The participants of this conference, who are coming from the different parts of the globe, in particular India too, they constitute the core members for developing the thoughts on these related topics. The conference organizers and the speakers have selected some relevant topics related to marketing, emotional intelligence, logistics, leadership, and other related issues. So on this occasion, I would like to mention some of the thoughts on this conference and some of my points which are very close to me and which are relevant. Crisis, and everything affects our society. When any crisis, whether it is health related, social related, everything, and this pandemic which you have seen, this COVID-19, is having the overall impact not only on the health of the country, not only health of the common person, but health of the economy. From this point of view, the crisis disrupts everything, not only our thought process, our mental ability, and everything. So from this point of view, if you go to our business world has taken so many steps at this moment also. Number one, in order to keep the morale of the staff high, to take care in the difficult situations, and also to take care of the family. Because no business can work in isolation. Society is the key point. Every business organization has to take the license from the society. When I say license of the society, there should be the acceptability in the society. Organizations are not meant for the profit only. In my opinion, profit is the byproduct if we take care of the society. From that point of view, I would quote uh, one of the important tagline of our Tata Steel. Tata Steel, once they put up the big holding that our ethics are stronger than the product which we make. The meaning over here is means if we take care of the society in the ethical way, things will work. So from the business point of view, this Industry 4, all of you might be aware of the Industry 4 when it took place in the Davos 3 or 4 years back. Everything has changed from mechanization, computerization, and now to the digital movement. So digital movement, digital transformation is the future way of doing the business. And you would be happy if you see the data in our own country, India. You will see how much the ATM transactions have gone, how many mobile transactions have gone, and every village is being covered with the digital movement also. So this is the impact of the, it would be the impact on the business. Now kindly see this Atmanirbhar Bharat scheme also. There, all the business strategies have been changed. I have been highlighting on this point. Forget about your big research on the consumer behavior and other things in the big way. Our focus has to be on the local to global, local to global. Otherwise, no country, because everyone says that every country has to be self-sufficient. Please go through with some of the reports of the McKinsey, Gartner, and other companies also. They highlight on 3-4 important points for that they call it new gen leader. I don't say it is the old leadership. It is basically in the present scenario, the new gen leadership is very important. For that point of view, first of all, the most important point, every leader will have to take care of his own mental ability first. If he or she is not in a good position, definitely he would not be in a position to give the shape to the strategic planning for the years to come. Number two, he has to be very agile. He has to understand what is happening. Instead of putting the issue under the carpet, he will have to accept it by reality and then plan accordingly with a human face. What is here human face? I want to say that every leader, for handling this crisis, and not only this crisis, after crisis. I'm developing a book. I'm happy that you have mentioned on this point on crisis. I'm not a leader, I'm a learner. I'm a learner. So I am coming out
Every
within a
leader
month
is a
or so.
learner.
A new book would be coming on this crisis leadership. I'm working it out. On that, in this book, I have covered all different aspects. So fourth important point is the strategic new planning. Old strategies which we used to have will not work. And because the things have changed, things will be changing, and we do not know how much this crisis of the pandemic or any other crisis, internal or external, will continue. So leaders will have to be future oriented, customer oriented, new market oriented. And you see, this I will just because I'm in America, I see at one of the places of the McDonald's chain. Yeah, all of you might be remembering the logo of the McDonald's. In
Of course.
McDonald's, there
Very
are
good.
there are
Yeah.
two interlinked
And that too in the
links.
yellow color.
Now, now they have separated them. They say in order on the principle of the social distance. So this is the new generation, new ideas, new thought. So accordingly, we will have to do. In this connection, for the entrepreneurs also, I would like to mention of this post-COVID or in the present time. Definitely for them, it is a very difficult time. I understand. Every day I'm reading the news in India also, so many crores of the people would be losing the job or they do not have. But even then, for the startups and the entrepreneurs, they will have to have the patients, take the support of their friends and the family members, and the mentor. Here, mentorship is very important. And you being in the research and consultancy, I would also request you kindly focus on mentoring of these young entrepreneurs also. These are some of my thoughts. Future is bright. Everyone says there are the big quotes also. Tomorrow would be better, brighter. So therefore, I'm hopeful this post-COVID also, all the economies would work in a different way. Old thoughts will not work, old ideas will not work. We will have to go into the, for example, you see, this e-health has come out in a big way. E-health. A good number of the projects are coming in the e-health. So these are all the new emerging area. We never thought that e-health or the doctor on the online would be available and the e-products, this thing. And I'm happy that our present government and Mr. Narendra Modi, our Prime Minister, they have done a wonderful job. Otherwise, in no country, every day I see the report of this country, America, Brazil, UK, things are not in the good shape, though they are doing a lot. But our initiation of the this COVID management has been better as compared to other countries. So what I would request all our students, faculty, researchers, that kindly focus on the local issues for the business management in post-COVID area. Thanks, ma'am, for this question. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. And one more question that is from me. I recently saw your feeling about youth. I think you have received some message. I saw that message also, and so many comments. I think more than 50 comments from various people. Okay, about them, against them. But anyway, youth is the future, right? What is your advice? Yeah. So what is your advice for the new gen? And you have also mentioned about new gen. Okay. So
yes.
What is your advice or mentoring, whichever word you use? Ultimately, it is all the same. Okay. So what is your advice for the present youth or future leaders?
Ma'am, you have put up a very direct question related to one of my posts on the LinkedIn.
Because I can see your feeling and emotions in that, and also many problems, which only reflects that many are having the same feeling. And every day we are dealing with youth, and so I thought, through you, some advice should reach them, or it can be even virtual mentoring, I can call it. You have vast experience in industry as well as institution, academic side. And if not you, who else can give a mentoring? So let us take it as a virtual mentoring. This will reach out to mass. I mean, future leaders.
I would agree.
Yes.
Actually, you see, I have the big heart for the youth. All my corporate journey and academic journey of the 50 years and plus, what I have taken care of, that youth is the future of any social economic development of any country. The population wise also, demography wise also, you see, without youth, without their aspirations, without their expectations, and without their commitment, no economy or no country can progress. As far as the incidence of that gentleman, doesn't matter. He is a little bit aggressive, does not matter. But only point which I'm raising over here, the new generation will have to learn from the elders and the seniors, and with it begin their respect. Suppose I'm addressing you, I have to address ma'am. If I don't address you ma'am, Mrs. Health, it will not look nice. That was the only thing. That gentleman started some filthy words also, does not matter. So commented, they say, forget and forget. So ma'am, at my level, definitely every level, we have to ignore all these things. But does not matter. We will have to continue with our process of guiding and guiding. If we do not nurture them, if we do not guide them, then we would be failing in our duty. But our approach should be very, very polite, submissive, and also I believe in one important point. Mentoring is one of the concepts of the olden days. Now it is a reverse mentoring also. And what is a reverse mentoring? Seniors will have to learn from the young
You're
generation.
budding leaders. Okay.
Yes, because in any organization, if the boss says you do this thing, you do this thing, no, we have to develop their own creativity and innovation so that we go ahead. Some of the organizations are there, Google, Facebook, and all other. They are asking 20% of the time of the employees, particularly of the youth, for the creativity and the innovation. So this is my important point. Every youth should focus for the future, but with dignity and respect to the seniors. Because a tree becomes older, tree will continue to grow, give the fruits, but after some time, tree would not be in a position to give the fruits, but every part of the tree would be useful in life, whether they are the trunk, whether it is the roots, and you see. So therefore, youth will have to have little bit of the patience. These millennials do not have, I call them with the 3C. What is 3C?
Okay.
3C concept has come in Gen.
Okay.
This is Gen Z. So what is the 3C here? They are somewhat committed. They are very, very sometimes confused also.
Okay.
They are well connected also. Connected means all the internet of the things and
Yes.
IoT. And this area, artificial intelligence, cloud computing, these are the future areas for our youth also. So my request to the youth and the entrepreneurs would be kindly have patience, have the respect for the country, have the respect for the nature, environment, and to a certain extent to the seniors also. Future is bright. Youth will have to take care of our country forward, forward, forward. And Swami Vivekananda, you see, Swami Vivekananda has been a great, great philosopher, and he has emphasized upon the youth development, youth. So therefore, I have nothing against with anyone. I have a big heart, and at this juncture, I have no business to hurt. And we all seniors will have to take, whether in family also. In our family, what happens? One son or one daughter may not follow you, daughter-in-law may not follow you, but even then, as the head of the family, we have to take care of all of them. Youth is bright, they are learned. Only point is we have to coordinate in such a way so that youth, elders, seniors, nature. I'm talking more of the environmental care also. Youth will have to protect everything, climate change and everything. And ITC, I will give you an example of ITC. ITC started with a concept of the green GDP. Green GDP. What is green GDP? There they say the youth and everyone will have to take care of the nature in a big way. That is the commitment of the youth. And I will take one more step over here for the youth. I have interviewed more than 10,000 candidates for the various posts, particularly in the banking and the financial sector. I have been associated with the IBPS also as the panel member and other things also. There, as far as the youth is concerned, I believed in one thing. Those people, those youth, whether BTech, MBA, are a common graduate who are coming from the rural areas. Their language, English language is not fluent, but they are committed. We must take care of those people to take them on board in our organizations, because youth, whether from the rural area, urban area, from the big area, does not matter. It is their commitment. So my request to the entire youth community would be kindly focus on your career also, with all mentorship also, mentoring you, as you mentioned also, I mentioned, mentors are the really future makers of the youth with due dignity and the respect. Thank you very much.
It's a great contribution, and definitely your points would add value to our conference. And thank you for joining us, and have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
And sorry, our brain is IQ. What is thinking of that? See, the personality of a person is thinking of the both sides. One is a thinking part, another is a feeling part. Put together is IQ. Thinking part is essential in the beginning stage. Yeah, when you go for an interview or when you are a college student, okay, IQ is very important thing for this. That's the IQ shows the thinking part. Second is the feeling part. You must feel, when you say feel, feeling of others, feeling of yourself, feeling of empathetic feeling is required. Until these are the feeling part. This will only make you to grow in the life. This will be initial stage. When you want to grow in your life, personal life and official life, feeling part is very important thing. So when you say what is IQ and EQ, is there any difference? Is there IQ and EQ? Yes. IQ gets higher. If you want to hire a person, first I see the IQ person in the initial level. I'm not talking about the senior person level. When a person is 25 years of experience, 35 years of experience, like Dr. Tan and Dr. Madam, and they're respected only for the EQ, how to manage the emotions of the person individually and emotions of other people. So EQ gets you fired. If you are not performing well, you are fired, and if you're performing well, you are up. You are promoted for this. Am I right, Dan? Do you agree with me?
Yeah.
100%.
100%.
100% we are agreeing. Yeah.
The professional success, this is called professional success, nothing else. I'm an individual success is both required. Individual success is EQ is more 80% than IQ. In the family, if you want to be successful in the family, EQ plays a vital role because you are handling the people, you are handling the emotions of the people, your family. EQ plays the same way you are handling the emotions of the, staff members, you are handling emotions of the employees. Okay. How would you feel? I lost my emotion. My goodness. See here, like this, it goes like this. I feel stressed and weak. I'm very weak. I lost my confidence. Why it is happening there? This is not happening there. Every individual at one point of time, they get distressed, demotivated. They are too much of tension, stress, too much of stress, mentally weak, physically weak. All the things happening there. Yes. It is a part of the life. As a human being, we have to undergo this sort of a thing. Somebody as a manager, as a senior person, I can't think positively anymore. Come on, exhausted. He said, I'm exhausted in my mind. I can't think positively anymore. What to do? You think can he live as it is? As a head of the institution or head of the company, as a MD or the chairman of the company, or a senior president of the company, he cannot say, come on, you are exhausted like this. He cannot be like that. So he has to make his alternative arrangement for these things because no one is like that. Why can't you change that? Is it possible to change? Yes. The question is yes, possible to change. The only way to change your situation is to develop your emotional intelligence. EQ is a quotient for the things. EI is emotional intelligence is very important thing for this. We said IQ is important at the beginning stage. When you go at the higher level, EMI is important. Aristotle, emotions. When you say Aristotle, we think of emotions for him there. I'll talk to you about who is the emotion, how the emotion is coined there at a stage. What is your emotion? When you say emotions, it's a bundle of love, fear, anger, pity, kind of pleasure, kind of distress, kind of sorrow, kind of sadness, kind of pain, undergoing pain, mental pain, physical pain. All the things are a part of emotion. It is experienced or expressed. Probably somebody may experience or somebody may express their emotions for the things. In either case, it is not properly elicited. It's not properly elicited. Experience and expressing all this one, when you experience or when you express these emotions, how you show emotions at the right time. The right time is required. Right object and the right people, right time, right people, the right person, right reason. See, we get angry and we got emotionally upset for this thing. So why you get angry, why you get emotion, we do not. When you are in anger, we lose our temper, we do not know what to talk, we are not speaking to the right person. And if you control your emotions, everything will be calm. The emotions can be controlled by 3 C's: cool, calm, and compose in the nature. IQ is mainly used to capabilities. I don't want to explain because if you're a student, I can explain to them there. I don't want to explain. We are all across the stage of explanation stage. Everything is a self-explanatory for this. IQ consists of memory, your memory power, left brain, right brain. Left brain is logical, right brain is analysis for these things, creativity. And the speed in your calculation, speed in your thinking. Creativity is more important thing. It's part of the day, part of the life. Flexibility, you should be flexible according to the situation, according to the person. And focus on your approach, focus on your, any attempt in your work. Attentive, wherever you go, they be attentive. These are all the part of the IQ part of it. When you say EQ, the ability to identify and assess what? ability to identify and assess and control the emotions of others. First, emotions yourself. Control your emotions. And the emotions of others is the most important thing as a manager. When you go as a manager, the head of the institution, you control the emotions of others. When there's a dispute, conflict management will be there. Control the emotions of them in a different way. Control the groups. When you go for the group or a team, control the emotions of others. IQ is innate quality. A gene probably there. Your forefather maybe there. IQ may be innate quality. A few people are born IQ, and people are made IQ policies. EQ is a trainable, yes. IQ is innate quality, and EQ is a trainable policy. Yes, you can train your emotional quotient for this. The greater productivity of any organization depends on the EQ. In the beginning, IQ is required, and when you are experiencing people are there, when you get a gaining experience, EQ is very important. Next, we will go for spiritual quotient. It's more important thing. And we were talking about it. Dan was talking in a couple of days last week. He was talking about spirituality. He nicely explained about what is spirituality, and Buddhism was talking very nice about the Buddhism, how Buddhism plays a role in spiritual and spirituality for this. Inner wisdom is guided by compassion. EQ is a heart, IQ is a head, and SQ is a soul. You know what is a soul? Let's see, when we die at the time of death, the soul is only departed, the body is perished. The soul is very important for the things. So it's a noble soul, we can say, not a noble body. Nobody will say it's a noble body, a noble soul. The soul is departed. The soul is a micron of small thing which is invisible. That soul is plays a vital role for the individual to attain the moksha, whatever we say, we do things like that. Next, we go for AQ. AQ is nothing but adversity quotient. Nowadays, adversity is there. Yes, a man is bundle of adversity is there. At the time of adversity is there, and then Albert Einstein, he has followed it. Intelligence, he is low intelligence at the time. Thomas Alva Edison, he failed 999 times. I cannot say fail. Fail is nothing but first attempt in life is called a fail, as Abdul Kalam said. First attempt in life, FAIL, is a fail, and is a very successful man. Richard Branson suffers in dyslexia and then is dropped out from the college because of this. He's a great motivational speaker in the world. Bill Gates failed in early in the business ventures. Successful man. The failure makes a man perfect. Failure makes a man to grow. This is the example for this. Everybody faces adversity in their life. Adversity makes a man to think, ink, and sink. What is a CQ? Anybody knows? You're not a student. Just I'm out of curiosity. I'm asking you that. What is a CQ?
Is it common sense?
No. Curiosity quotient.
Curiosity quotient. Okay.
That's what I use the word curiosity to you. Curiosity is to learn something else, curious to know so many things. That's called a curiosity quotient. Not curious to know about what others are doing there. What's the gossiping? This is not a curiosity. The curiosity is nothing.
One question. One question.
Yeah.
Only one question. The
Curiosity,
I can understand. The CQ you invented or you have referred somewhere?
Somebody spoke there. I have taken this reference.
Okay.
Okay, curiosity quotient. Who are always learning. They are in the learning habit, always learning habit. And then their minds are always hungry for me. If I am hungry, I go to kitchen, take the food. Like this, the curiosity is required for you to learn. So many things are there. In this case, I see Tan is a person. An example for you, I can take Tan. It's a curiosity for this. And yeah, madam is also that curiosity. No, when I have impacted many times.
Sir, any children is curious about learning, sir. So we should have that childness always.
Right, child mentality required. Yes.
Exactly.
Child mentality required when you go for the curiosity.
Childlike mentality. There is also a
childlike mentality.
We shouldn't be childish, but we should be childlike.
But at times we are childish.
Always, I am.
Very good. Okay. Pyramid of model of 4 intelligence. I explained it there. PQ is a physical quotient. Physically fit, mentally fit. For the physically body awareness, like doing yoga and then doing meditation like a physical fit. IQ is mental and verbal quotient, IQ intelligence. EQ is managing a relationship. How do you manage your relationship with others, with yourself, with others? That's more important thing. It also consists of.
So in the pyramid, we are yet to include that CQ. Is it so?
Yeah. CQ include.
You are yet to include. Okay. So there is
CQ.
Sir, Professor Tan, kindly note down. You have future research. Your future research can be focused on CQ.
CQ.
And add in that pyramid where it comes. Is it at the bottom or at the top?
This is called curiosity.
That's right. Oh. Okay. So should
This
I
is called
say,
curious to know what is this missing.
This can be
Yeah.
definitely this can be a hypothesis. We can whether it should be at the bottom or it should be at the top. That can be the hypothesis for the future research. Thank you so
Future
much
research.
for adding that in our conference. Thank
And trainability. IQ is inherited. You know what is IQ is inherited? Definitely, it is. I cannot. I mean, totally agree with this thing, but generally IQ is inherited. They say forefather, great forefather. They are all IQ. That's why you are genius, mathematics genius, and this genius we say like this. But EQ is not inherited. It is because of the circumstances and environment you are molded. The raw clay is molded by through EQ, so things are that can be taught and learned with the practice. How you practice, I'll tell you that afterwards. Can increase with the desire to learn. If you want to learn EQ, you must desire to learn. It's a part of curiosity for this. EI, innate, shaped by circumstances and environment. And emotional intelligence is shaped by circumstances and environment. Because all people will not have a conducive environment or circumstances may not be suitable for them to go for the EQ. Many people are at different level, different parameters, they are there. Can be enhanced in childhood, adulthood by increasing our ability to be proactive. Be proactive. From the adulthood itself, you can say that should be taught. IQ can be taught by everyone else, but EQ is not taught in the college level. The college level, the EQ should be taught to them there. This is most important thing.
This IQ is inherited, doesn't change significantly over lifetime. Is this, who told this? This one?
Yeah, it does not change insignificantly. I'm not talking significantly in lifetime. It will be there.
Okay.
See, just see, IQ is inherited, does not change significantly over lifetime. That
So
means it will be there.
you mean to say it is DNA?
Yeah, DNA, absolutely.
Is it from DNA? Oh,
DNA.
Really?
Yeah, it is proved.
Oh, that's
proved.
okay.
If
I would like to hear from Tan regarding this point. That is, what do they do in Thailand for increasing EQ? Here, what they do, no, they
EQ,
do, we do meditation, yoga, right? Prayers, the sloga, we say sloga, and also food habits to some extent. What do you do in Thailand? Maybe hear from you anything more than this you do there.
Yeah, that is right, and that is what I want to share with Professors Raguraman. Is that if you go back to your model in the previous slide, if you go back to your pyramid slide, if you go back, what we do is that this pyramid usually we say that SQ is at the higher level, but actually we can use SQ to drive the EQ. And to improve the IQ, to develop the IQ, and to develop the PQ. So
it is reverse.
It is not one way vertical.
It is cycle. It should be a cycle, not a pyramid. It is a cycle.
Right. So the SQ, like Professor said, the SQ.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. The SQs. I think many people has neglected the role of SQ, not being itself at the higher level, but being a driving force for really improving the EQ, IQ, and PQ.
Inclusive of SQ is the umbrella. It is EQ plus IQ comes under SQ. It is embedded. Once you have SQ, it is embedded. It is there inside. It's not that it is not required. Once you have SQ, we can't say these two are not required. It is there already. This plus this, like 2 plus 2, 4 madri. This EQ plus IQ is equal to SQ.
Interesting. So Professor Raguraman, if the IQ is inherited, then why the IQ is in the middle? It's probably inherited since the very beginning. I think the SQ is really a very important driving force to enhance the EQ. Expanding our understandings of we, ourselves, and other people, because if we understand ourselves, we also understand other people. And then
to conclude this thing, interesting video is that.
No, you are concluding only this session. Maybe you can join.
Okay, and there are a lot of things on the EQ and IQ. How the EQ people will react, how the low EQ, high EQ people will react like this, and then emotional intelligence is success of life. And then followed by, there are 80% of people success in life because of emotional intelligence only. 90% of the high performers are the workplace in a high EQ. This is a study made for this. And followed by EQ, not only EQ important, but emotional competence also required. Be adapted to any situation, and then that is the way we can go for this. And then we can say finally, I can come to conclusion. Competency and behavior are necessary for the top performers, but of course, that's only for 20% only. But 80% of the required self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. So EQ and IQ is different. It taps into the fundamental difference for this. So certain things are there within our control, certain things which is not in our control. Outside the peripheral is outside the control. Within the control is the emotions, blessings, and then voice, appreciation, attitude, and then a healthy routine life. These are all there within our control, so that we can be successful. Outside the control, I cannot go out. I am losing my jobs, and COVID happened. COVID has taken place. That's why economy is slowed down. People are suffering. These are all outside the control. So we should be balanced ourselves, which is our control, within our control. So there's a question
so much,
for this.
Professor.
I conclude my speech.
Yes. Thank you so much. And we are ending this session with what Professor concluded. And next session will join us. Please, I welcome you all for the next session.
I conclude myself. Last quote.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Cover the specific message the customer staying in luxury hotel share and post at TripAdvisor, and build a theory to imply to the luxury hoteler to serve the satisfaction and ensure loyalty. From the information that I got from the literature review is about the luxury consumption view. Highlight in the literature review is talking about the escapist experience that luxury hotel can provide the customer to give an opportunity that to briefly escape everyday routine from different reality. It means luxury hotel can escape the customer to give some different from their daily life. For the next one, it's about the feeling of luxury. It's about the luxury hotel. They design every detail like architecture and decoration or service to give the luxury experience to the customer. For the next one is about the tangible. It's about the tangible design to impress the executive or unique different set at hotel decorated with the original painting or real flower or unique facility that provide for the customer. The next one is about the luxury value. Luxury value is talking about the unique of human touch. It's about the friendly service provider, helping service provider, and unique service that from the luxury hotel, they can give the late of check-out or something that's special than the normal hotel. For the methodology is we use about the nanography is a method of observation on internet platform like TripAdvisor. It used the first one is about the validity. Is we careful study on the comment of the visitor that they come to luxury hotel and they leave the comment on the TripAdvisor, and we will highlight some special comment that reflect to the customer experience. Yes, to do so, we make use of the luxury review set at adopting the unconventional program toward experiential consumption. Worldview of luxury is a moment of luxury. For the second is about the reliability. to the data collecting and analysis, it make visible and adaptable by means of table and thematic analysis process. And for the next one is about the analytical generalizing. This one is about to build a model to present factor of luxurious experience to cause satisfaction and loyalty. And this is for about the sample of the list of luxury hotel that we got from the Reader Digest Canada website. We use the topic about the top most luxury hotel and resort around the world. And this is the example of the data collection from the TripAdvisor platform. The customer comment about the hotel. Literature review can help we to in-depth the luxury trend and theme in service and ethnographic analysis. We using the methodic data analysis method to build the theory and address research objective, and we trying to can draw the empirical for the hoteler and contribute to the body of knowledge. And thank you for attention.
Thank you.
Okay. So basically, Ning was doing was that she was looking for what kind of luxury messages that the visitors to the luxury hotels presented and shared in the TripAdvisor's platform. And nowadays it's COVID period, so it's very difficult to collect the data. So ethnography, which is similar to ethnography but on the internet, it's able to give you all the data, ready data set. The only weaknesses is that you are not able to ask the question, but you can only pick up the transcripts and the data already shared. But you got to, make sense of all the data. What exactly do they talk about and share relating to the luxury? And so, I read the literature review and identified that the terms luxury has been subjected to continuous changing from owning a product and services to really engaging and experience, and so experiencing, it's also a moment of luxury. It's not necessary that you got to own a certain product or services. You really have to engage with something unique, and that it takes an effort to go and enjoy it and experience it, and that it's also that memorable experiences is a part of manifestations of the luxury. So it's doing that and has done the proposals and now into the data collections, and has just demonstrated to us how he analyzed the data through the data collections from TripAdvisor, and during the data collection and analysis, he has to make sure the validities, reliabilities, and ability to generalize in the sense that makes sense to contribute to the to the hotel industries, as well as to the literature reviews. Yeah, that is basically what he's doing. And professors, Raghuramans, any questions from your side?
The simple question, I need a clarification. I don't want to ask a question. I need a clarification from you. In your last slide, you have mentioned that literature in-depth luxury trend and theme in services. What do you mean by theme? You have mentioned that the first slide.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is the meaning of theme? Theme.
And theme in service. What do you mean by theme in services?
Yeah. Themes. Explain
Theme
what is the meaning of theme.
In services.
It's about the is about the subject of something that we talk is about the moment of luxury.
Now, in the hotel industry, pure service. Yeah.
Sorry, I cannot help.
You go back to your slide.
I understand. Luxury trend is important.
Go back to your literature review. Go back to your literature review. You go back to your literature review. Okay. Yeah, there are a couple of themes demonstrated. For example, when we say themes, it means things that are very important, that they are being highlighted, so it's like a variable. So we're talking about what are the themes in luxurious service experience. So one of those could be the feeling of luxury. What do they do? How do they feel? Being luxury, the tangible things involved, the luxury value, and things like that. So these are called themes. There are many more on the themes, but these are examples of the themes.
Yeah.
Okay, Ning?
Okay.
So yes, theme is variables, okay, like a variables. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Okay. Just to think about from our side, we do not know what is the theme in services, because theme is generally we say something which is very important for the particular topic, or suppose you do the theme of the current the topic, or the theme of the entire subject is we call the theme. The crux of the entire thing is called the theme. Now you say theme in services. That's why I need a clarification from you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Doesn't matter.
Right.
It's good. Yeah. Nice thing.
Good presentation. So what are the things very important to services? And those are called themes. So key things, the key important things that are very important.
All the themes.
Yeah. That we call themes. And in the qualitative the methods we call themes, but in quantitative survey we call variables, or maybe the relationship between variables.
Variables. Okay, that's good. No, as a right side of the learning stage, no problem at all. Good presentation. Thank you very much.
It's a good topic and socially relevant also, and it is very current topic. As Professor Tan was rightly putting it, it is COVID-19 topic. Okay, what you should do at this time of crisis. A really good topic that you have chosen. I appreciate that, and also Tan for guiding you effectively on that. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes, and the next one would be Wong. You can make your presentations on your medical. So Ning, you can close. Okay, Wong, you can make a presentations on medicals, and then followed by thumbs. So you can share.
Okay, so for my thesis is about readiness of Thailand hotel, hospital, and tourist attraction in medical tourism. So the medical tourism is very new. It's a new concept. It's about the patient traveling abroad to receive the medical treatment and taking an opportunity to travel during the medical treatment. And in this case, it's not about the patient itself. It also includes their family, their caretaker, and the growth driver of this phenomenon is a aging population. I think that in 5 years, 10 years, the baby boomer will be the main target customer in this kind of industry. Also the growing affluence, the wealthy of the people, and also the technology such as telecommunication, transportation, social media. It gives patients more information so they can seek the best choice for their health. And if you're looking at the big picture, it shows that the medical tourism is just a subset of wellness tourism. However, when patients go abroad to another country, they also engage in the food tourism, lodging. They also do activity during the treatment time. Now, the medical tourism is different from wellness tourism because it is reactive. So the condition occur and then the patient seek treatment it's not to prevent or to optimize the health condition, but to cure the present condition or illness. And now on the left-hand side, you can see this one is the global situation that many hotels, they also change to spa hotel, health hotel, the restaurant, they become more healthy, become more organic food, healthy food. The souvenir shop, they sell more spa product, vitamin, healthy food, supplement. So the tourism as a whole become more wellness specific. However, many industries, they engage in their own way and they do not talk with each other. So there are no clear co-creation value. And for Thailand, Thailand aim to be the 2020 World Medical Hub before COVID-19. So everything is postponed. And for the reason why Thailand can be the world medical hub because of the price competitiveness. You can see in the right bottom half of the screen, you can see the price comparison between the USA, India, South Korea, Mexico, Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, and Singapore. You can see that in many countries, especially in Asia, the price is relatively lower than in the West, in the US or in Europe. And now, as I said earlier, the literature review that I see is rather fragmented or focusing on one perspective or domain or involving only the opinion of a few experts. So the research objective of my thesis would be to incorporate various stakeholder view to assess the readiness of medical tourism in Chiang Rai, Thailand. So it includes 3 main stakeholders. Now for the literature review, so the word readiness must have the clear definition in order to gain the validity and reliability. So in this case, readiness is ready to participate in the change, even though if Thailand have the good resource, have a good plan, but if the participant does not ready to change, the change will not be successful. The driver or restraining force of change can be categorized in various forms like cognitive mechanism or awareness of the problem, solution, emotional disposition, variant proposition, so the recognition of value and positive impact, efficacy or confidence, social capital or support, encouraging mechanism. So participants, are they going to get reward or benefit for engaging in medical tourism, contextual factor, government policy, and urgency of change perception of the stakeholder. And now to make use of the process maturity to identify the pattern, it can divide into 4 levels from ad hoc readiness. So the process are uninstruct and unified to the integrated readiness. So the supply chain involved medical tourism is well integrated and everyone commit to the process. Now for the method, so I'm using qualitative mode of data collection and supported by quantitative by using IPA, important performance analysis. So a clear pattern of variable relationship can be synthesized. So first I have to do the literature review and in-depth interview. Also followed by let them assess the factor, the important and the actual performance to find the gap. And lastly to plot the IPA graph to show the difference and show the relation. So the result of the finding will be first, the first objective on the left top side is to identify readiness factor, what effect, the importance of the factor or performance of the factor. The second one is to identify important readiness factor reflected by IPA. On the bottom half is the interview table. So when I engage with the stakeholder, they will answer the question like factor, what value they give to the medical tourism, and also because I do this work as a medical tourism industry, so I have to know what is their co-creation area. So do they talk with each other? Do they provide package, or do they have any campaign that work together? Their competence state and their readiness level is a process majority. If I can fill this interview table, it will answer the objective 3 of this thesis. So it's to study and explore for pattern and relationship of the readiness factor and judge by readiness level. And the fourth one is to explore how the resident perceive the medical tourism development. So how the local react to the development of medical tourism. Are they agree or disagree? What make them disagree? Do they have any impact? Do they don't notice the positive impact of the phenomenon? And now for the conclusion, so to establish a readiness structure similar to the wind. So right now in the current state, my job is to unfreeze the current state so they can change and refreeze state. So 3 main stakeholders, namely hospital, hotel, and tourist destination, they can be in the end state that ready for medical tourists after COVID-19. The contribution will be the model that link the 3 major stakeholders together, like in previous slide. And they also provide a big picture for stakeholders, the 3 main stakeholders that I mentioned, so they can engage in medical tourism effectively, so they know that it integrated readiness. What are they focusing on? What is more important? What is the performance of the current state? And also provide a big picture for the policymakers, so they can develop a long-term plan for continuous development. So right now, the government will also see the big picture of what is going on and what is their main focus, what they might support. Okay, that would be all. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you, Wong, and
Thank you. Very nice.
Very huge topic, and it was.
Was that done? Okay, Varak, it was a good presentation, and also your conceptual framework is really good. I think that would.
อาจารย์ลืมเปิดไมค์ครับ
Can you go back to that?
I'm sorry, it was on mute. So the medical tourism was a very huge topic, and he was able to he was trying to present a very simple input process output model driven by the concepts of Lewin's change. So to change, you got to really understand the views and what is going on in the change situation, so that you can start changing. And to know the change, you got to know the sort of the variables that drive the change and the sort of the stumbling blocks that prevent the changes. And if you can provide good strategies on that, then and the change will become more visible, and the medical tourism industries in Chiang Rai will be able to improve significantly. And that is his intentions for his degree thesis research, and he has done his completed his proposal, passed his proposals, and now he's in the data collection stage. Okay. So any questions from the audience?
That's well consolidated.
Only one question. You mentioned there, it was a good presentation.
If no, then we will proceed to the last presenters, okay, which is on the clinic, on dental clinic services.
Yes, please.
So for the introductions, when searching by using the keyword dental clinic service in SciDirect and the email, the tablet show a field in consumer behavior oriented the research publications. Those research are mostly focused on the area of the service quality or dental care attribute, contributing to customer are willing to pay. So that's the disliking of their theoretical model that capture complete version of the factor involved. So this gap can be lead to the following my objective. So the research objective is the purpose of this research is to propose conceptual model to describe how patients react and interact with the dental clinic service, and empirically validate the model and suggest implications for the clinic administrators, the customer, and the academicians. And from the literature review, the customer or the patients use the dental clinics service for many of the reasons, but the most of common reason is like the eliminate the pain, like the feeling the teeth, and another reason is for the oral health improvements. But that study can lead to this hypothesis. The dental service scientifically explains the level of the customer value. And another hypothesis that the customer the service are simultaneous productions and consumption lead to impulse role of the customer participations and the caring attitude of the doctor. The customer participation is by means of the information seeking, information sharing, and the responsible behavior and the customer feedback, as it will be considered. For this factor can group into the category of the other interpersonal element that can drive the performance of the dentist, and also together with the technical of the dentist for achieve the satisfactory performance. And for these two elements is advocate in the service quality instrument, the serve core, and the technical it's depend on the knowledge of the dentist. But in the other hand, the interpersonal elements, it can be used from the patient interaction, such as the communication of the patient, like sharing the necessary information to dentist for guiding the dentist to treat the right procedure or treat or the action to meet the expectation of the patients. For this one, it can lead to the four hypotheses. The customer participation behavior scientifically explain dental service quality. And the second one is customer participation behavior scientifically explain customer value. And the third one is caring attitude of doctor scientifically explain dental service quality. And the last one is the caring attitude of doctor scientifically explain the customer value. And another literature review is so when the customer regional that the unique value can receive from the dental clinic, so it would be lead to customer satisfactions and loyalty and advocacies. So for the satisfaction is to reflect the effectiveness of the clinic when the value is fulfilled and expectation of the customer needs, then the loyalty will be strong. And after that, the customer can be the advocate of our clinic, and then will be the competitive advantage. So will be lead to the two hypotheses, like the customer value scientifically explain customer satisfaction, loyalty, and advocacy, and the loyalty and advocacy lead to competitive advantage of dental clinic when compared to the other in the neighborhood. So, and this is the result when integrate of the hypothesis to the conceptual models. So the centralized will be customer participation behavior and the caring attitude of the doctor. When the customer get the treatment and then the customer get the value, the customer will be satisfaction of this service, and then will be the loyalty and advocacy. And after that will be the when the customer is loyalty and advocacy, so our clinics will be the competitive advantage, it will be good. And so this is the method to test the model. So we'll be by using the questionnaire based on surveys. So first we need to identify the variable and provide the definition and develop the questionnaires. So by using the PSO or the concept, so the process is, the P stand for the process, will be divided into the two things, will be interactive process and I'm sorry, can be divided to giving instruction and receiving instructions. The giving instruction is from the clinic can give the information to the customer or can give more information is the proper to the customer. And the receiving instruction, the customer satisfaction will be when the customer get the treatment, the customer can satisfy the service. And the structure can be the infrastructure, the personnel, or the equipment. The infrastructure will be if the building is clean or not. And for the personnel, the doctor is the grooming of the doctor or the receptionist. And for the equipment will be the clinic. Can the clinic use the model equipment or not? And the last one is outcome, is the technical outcome and the interpersonal outcome. The technical outcomes will be the doctor, the technique of the doctor, that service of the customer. And the interpersonal outcome will be when the patient is got the service, they can fulfill like the expectations and or can improve the quality of life of the customer. That's all this.
Professor Tan, we have 2 more minutes. Kindly conclude.
Yeah, so thank you for all three. The last one was the dental clinic, and so he's trying to explore into the customer interaction, and we know that in services it is a simultaneous production and consumption. So we consume the services at the same time production was carrying it out, and so there is some value co-creation. So he was looking into some value co-creation participation of customer, which has not been properly addressed in the literature review. So although it is a regular consumer behavioral study, but there I appreciated that he identifies certain characteristics that are very important to the services that has not been addressed in the clinical dental services, which is a good effort of the students. Sometimes when we do research, it is not necessary that we identify huge area, huge contributions. All we have to do is to pick up a couple of areas that we think that are very important that can add on. But the most important thing is that each of us are doing the research. We got to be very, very much rigorous, looking into validities, reliabilities, and ensuring that things can be applying to wider audiences in a very stable sense. So yeah, I personally appreciate the three students' efforts in such a short time. Before the presentation, before the conferences, and they quickly organize their thought processes and defense their proposal thesis. And now the three of them are into data collections, and hopefully in another 3 months' time, they should be able to complete the data, and therefore we can see a bigger picture and better implication out of the research. Okay, so
Thank you so
any
much,
other questions from audience?
No, thank you so much, Dr. Tan, professor from School of Management, Mefa Luang University, and also his effective and energetic team. Thank you, Professor Raghu.
To discuss about this marketing challenges, and we have Ms. Srija. She's also a professor in marketing in Nehru College of Management. I thank you all for being with us. And to start with,
Greetings everyone. This is Dr. R. Moses Daniel, the principal of Nehru College of Management, a unit of Nehru Group of Institutions, Coimbatore. I'm really happy to be a part of this ICT-enabled international conference on Trends and Innovations in Management and Entrepreneurship, organized by Unique Research and Consultancy Services, Madurai. I'm really happy to discuss on the topic marketing challenges and innovations. First of all, we should understand what is marketing. Marketing is nothing but understanding, creating, distributing, and satisfying the needs and wants of customers. So this is the basic definition we have for marketing in a layman's view. What is understanding? Before you create a product, we need to understand what type of a product the people need. And how do we do that? See, we have a lot of organizations that conduct surveys. They go to the marketplace, meet the customers, and collect data on what they need. Based on their needs, the products are designed, the data is analyzed, and found the various needs in different angles that the people require, and that is considered, and then a product is created. Sometimes it will be through a direct interview with the people, and the expert opinion is collected. So these are some of the methods through which the marketers identify the product identify the need Once they identify the need of the people, then they start creating the product based on the data collected. They use different techniques, and there are different ICT enabled techniques through which they can design the product. Definitely it is not possible to satisfy all the needs of the customers through one product. So they are trying to optimize it. They are trying to maximize the satisfaction level, and they try to maximize the meeting of the needs. Then after creating a product, they have to create awareness among the people that the product is available. So for that, we have a lot of techniques, marketing techniques like paid advertisements, cost marketing, relationship marketing, word of mouth, internet marketing, transactional marketing, diversity marketing. There are different ways through which you can make the people aware of the product that you manufacture. So sometimes you could have seen in the newspaper, the ads will come, as well as there will be some flyers or bit notices kept inside the newspaper and distributed to the people. So these are all different methods that gives awareness to the public. And in nowadays, the CRM is there, customer relationship marketing. So what they do, whoever the customer visit, instead of giving that product alone, they are giving awareness on the other products available as well. And the good way of reaching the customers with a good opinion is the word of mouth. So when the people experience, they spread that message to the others. That is the best way of reaching customers directly. Either it is a positive note or a negative note. It reaches the maximum audience through word of mouth. And today we have the internet options to make aware of the product. There are the marketers, they have to change their marketing strategies as per the technological developments and reaching the audiences. The feedback is the best method for them to improve the quality of the product, and they keep on changing their product and reaching the customers in all the new technologies that is prevailing in the market. I thank the organizers for this opportunity, and I have some more people who will talk about the topic in their perspectives. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Greetings to one and all. Myself, Dr. L. Karthikeyan, Director, Nehru College of Management, Coimbatore. I am very proud to be a part of this prestigious conference, and my paper is all about trends in marketing challenges and innovation. Marketing is the lifeblood of the business. I believe that the biggest marketing challenge today will be a rapidly decreasing organic reach on social media platforms such as Facebook and Instagram. In the recent years, Facebook, which owns Instagram, has implemented a decrease in organic reach among these two social channels in an effort to force B2C marketers to spend more money on paid advertising. This has made it difficult to reach potential customers without spending a lot of money, and I believe it will get only worse in due course. With more and more buyers going directly to Amazon than search engines to fund products online, B2C visibility is becoming increasingly difficult. It is therefore important to build a brand name as quickly as possible so that shoppers eventually search for you by name rather than by product. Offline marketing campaigns such as print catalogs and postcards can be effective complements to online campaigns. Participating in online forums to establish oneself as a subject expert is also a worthwhile tactic. Trust is built slowly, but in the end, it is extremely valuable. While your competition is focused on trying for viral home runs, you can build a solid foundation by hitting consistent singles. In time, customers will hopefully remember your name just as they remember Amazon and Zappos. That marketing has become competitive for a company's growth and profitability. This paper is going to say exclusively on that. Thank you.
Hello everyone. I am Tennarisi, Assistant Professor from MBA Department of Nehru College of Management. So I'm very glad to be a part of this ICT-enabled international conference organized by Unique Research and Consultancy Services on trends and innovations in management and entrepreneurship. My area of interest is marketing. Hence, I wish to do a study on changing marketing techniques for leading garment retailers post-pandemic. So here in this study, I like to list and organize the opportunities and techniques which are available to the marketers to promote sales in retail garment industry. Amongst many available industries, the reason for which I choose retail is as follows. No? The first and foremost reason is contribution of retail industries towards GDP. So it contributes nearly 11% and the nominal value is 980 billion, out of which 36% is from the garment sale. So hence, highlighting that ensures the importance of this industry, I personally feel. This robotic is going to take a new wings during this COVID. So even this is also been an expected one. So I end up here. So I've given you a small detail about how the retail industry will be there in future, or what could be, what changes are expected in retail industry. So I'll end up with this, and I thank the opportunity given by our principal, Dr. R. Moses Daniel sir, who has asked us to do a paper on this topic, and also I take this as an opportunity given. Thank you once again. Thank you all.
Hello everyone, I am S. Rija, Assistant Professor at Nehru College of Management, Coimbatore. It's an institution of Nehru Group of Institute. So today we are supposed to talk a few points with regard to the trends and innovations in management and entrepreneurship. So as we all are very much aware of the present situation which we are facing, definitely I'm talking about this corona problem itself. As we know that it has been started in this year in March. From March onwards, we are in a lockdown situation, which is not only it is creating a great problem for each and every people, because the people who are doing the business, their business is in dull. For institutions, for academicians, every way this problem is been there. So now the thing is how to overcome this problem, because in management we are supposed to we are learned, or we have been trained that to face every challenges, how we are going to face the challenges, how we are going to accept the challenges and convert the challenges into your scope. This is what we are going to learn here. So many people have put forward so many points that this if we include all these type of trends, it will be better for us. So some of the trends which have been which I have searched and have come out with this, which we can include in our organization is what we are going to share with you. That is, first of all, the most important thing is video conferencing or online thing. In this era, internet is becoming more and more important, and more and more people are being using internet, and it is the only area where we are still connected with our people, maybe our relatives, maybe our employees, employers, and all. So we have, this is a tool which is having a most power. So I thank the government that they have done the digitalization of India. Because of that, so many advanced technologies was also been updated now, and now we are in a situation that we are using this in every home. We are having the smartphones where we can connect through net and can do our work. So technology is the basic strength of which we can utilize in our future. Followed by some of the studies. As you know that so many institutions are coming out with offering so many courses. So it will be a right choice not only for students but also for the teachers. Doesn't matter whether they are doctors or they have got doctorate or something, but it will be better for them to join in such this type of any courses which will enlighten their particular education and all, because there is no end for education. In the term, the period when you are born, the time when you are born till your death, you are every now and then you are educating yourself, you are learning something. So it will be it's a very better option that you are going to get, and by registering yourself in some courses, so that in your resume you can clearly show that you are not idle during this period. Also you are getting enlightened by joining so and so courses. It will definitely benefit in somewhere or else. Then term brand ambassadors, like as we know that when more and more in our marketing tools and all, we are making use of certain brand ambassadors. For example, Amitabh Bachchan or any sports person like Virat Kohli or anything like that. So earlier we have fun with them, with us, so we can afford to make them as a brand ambassador. But taking into consideration the present situation, most of the managers are recommended that rather than making a brand ambassador somebody from outside, it will be better that we make brand ambassador within our company, that is your employees itself, because your employees are the only people who know very well about the organization, and so they can give a good a report with regard to your workings of the organization. Also, in case customers or people contact with them, they can give good suggestions or give satisfy the customers by any recommendation or something like that.
Before we conclude, there are 2 questions from the participants.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You were telling about that innovation in marketing and marketing innovations. What is the difference, sir? What is the difference?
That is, ma'am, see, there are a lot of innovative products available now. Not only any one company now, every day there were innovations in different companies. How we are taking that to the marketplace now?
Yes.
Whether we are talking about that innovation, marketing the innovations or innovations in marketing. See, marketing techniques are changing. As I told earlier, we started going to the doors to sell the product. Then slowly we got into pages. Then we came into SMS. Then now we are doing social media. So now virtual stores have come. So this is innovations in marketing techniques.
Okay, sir. Sir, then Karthikeyan sir.
Ma'am, Tenarasi ma'am, you are muted.
Yes, ma'am. Tell me.
Sir, you are talking about some of the challenges in marketing, right? Hello, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, just one question regarding that those challenges we are living.
Yes, madam. I was talking about some other.
Currently, yes. Now, currently in this COVID-19, what is the biggest challenge that you find among the marketers?
Madam, actually, I have narrated 10 points. I have narrated, but the most important is the distribution. Yes. Distribution is the major criteria in marketing today. Exactly. We can produce quality products with We can produce quality products in large quantities as well with the latest technologies. But what is the point if you're not able to have a good distribution process. That is the biggest menace we are facing.
Okay, sir.
Ma'am, today it is unique. I mean, the COVID-19 situation, people are not able to move, ma'am. There is a restriction in the movement. Physical
Mobility
distribution
and
of the product.
logistics problem, yes, yes.
Logistics problem is there. That is what
Right.
she means.
Yes, sir, yes.
And only essentials are allowed, not the all the products. So that has become a biggest challenge for the marketers now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. And Tenarasi madam? Tenarasi madam?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, unmute, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
You were talking about that retailing.
Yes, ma'am.
Retailing now, no, as you already know, even during the unlock period, customers are not allowed to go to big malls or retails. How do you think they will be able to sustain or even survive after this COVID-19 period?
Okay.
Assuming that it will be over at least.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, that is the reason.
Positively assuming
Yeah,
that
yeah,
it will be over by December or January.
Hope so,
But do you
so.
think malls and shops in those malls, how are they going to survive?
That is what, ma'am. So I was telling the first trend, that is e-commerce, that is point of sale system. So earlier days it was brick and mortar model was there followed. Now they have the online platform is also there for them to reach their customers. Somehow or rather they want to keep everything ready, like they want to be ready for whatever the situation happens. Like they want to make them website well developed for the customers to reach. So the one who visits the mall is mostly of well-educated people, and already they have a smartphone. It is there taking their time as well. So obviously, if they set up a very good point of system, that is POS center, and also this online, that is the platform for ordering the products, then if they are maintaining both the channels, that physical as well as this the digital platform effectively, they can reach their customers well. Maybe hopefully the marketers, the retail outlet is expecting this pandemic to come to an end. So if it comes, then the market will flourish, I hope. And I've selected only the fashion as one particular industry where people tend to purchase dress often. So that was my point in mind. So as a whole, and this is my summary.
Even for groceries, we have Amazon grocery, ma'am, now.
Yes,
correct.
Hopefully you can get it from online, ma'am. Online has become a base now today.
Yes, and so it is a big challenge for the malls.
Yes,
so what you are saying is right, and so that becomes a very big challenge for retailing.
Yes.
And
earlier online was a tool. Now online is the challenge for these physical marketers.
And now there is one more question for Srija ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Srija ma'am, you were talking about the author who quoted. Okay, what is that author's name?
Bernard Mark, madam. Bernard Mark. B-R-N-A-D-M-A-R-R. Yeah.
Okay, writer, American? He's an American?
He's a German. He's a German, ma'am. German.
Okay. But there is one question from the audience.
Yeah.
That is, do we have any Indian context? Because German, okay, though the pandemic is very common across the globe, we have our own challenges in India. So do we have any Indian experts suggesting something for Indian market?
But Indian experts like there are.
Maybe we will have to write a book. Maybe we will have to start writing a book. That is a good suggestion from the audience. They say that why not our marketing experts come up with some good book for Indian context. So thank you so much for all the experts here and academicians, well-known authors also. They expect a book from the experts like you.
Sure,
okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. Sure, we'll make one.
Okay, so it's a good response from the audience and participants too. So thank you so much for the entire team, sir. I think now you can conclude for one, Dr. Moses.
That's what, ma'am.
Yes.
That's what, ma'am. Though we have a lot of challenges, there are always a solution if we think it in a positive way. Yeah, of course. Now online we have a lot of challenges, but that is the only way during this pandemic situation to reach the people. So they can also sitting at home safe. They can order things. Whatever they order, it is delivered at home. So there is no issue at all. Maybe this will continue further. Along with, we will have to take this online situation as a part of our future. So definitely everything will not be physical. We will have online also. That is why, as Tanaris ma'am said and we discussed, even the groceries have come online. So people don't have to don't have to worry about it. And even the marketers also can reach everyone. The only great challenge that we have is how to reach the correct audience. Now, if you see in online, even for the kids, when they see, when they learn, some unwanted messages are coming inside and popping out, right? That is the challenge we have now. So for that, the cybercrime or some security measures have to be taken to control that. If that is there, the marketers can easily reach the right audience. So they can segregate based on the age, they can segregate based on the sex and everything they can do. Only because of the false data, they are not able to do that. And if with the help of cybercrime and other security organizations, if they can clear that, then definitely it won't be a problem at all for the marketers. Either it is in the COVID situation or in the future. So technology is going to play a very important role in manufacturing and in the marketing of the products. So very nice discussion. I have gathered a lot of information from this. I again thank Karthikeyan sir, Thanarisi ma'am, Srija ma'am for sharing with us, and Uma ma'am for giving us a wonderful opportunity to have this discussion. Thank you so much.
Good morning, very good morning. Start.
Good morning, ma'am.
Very good morning, Agalya.
Yes, ma'am. I'm Ahalya, ma'am. I'm pursuing MBA final year, and I'm here to present my paper on customer intentions and usage patterns of online banking. My paper actually sees only online banking forum compared to all the banking platforms. Online banking forum is a latest forum that's been added to all the banking technology. In this forum, I'm trying to find out what is the customer's intention and their usage patterns. As we know, online banking, a lot of people actually casually use internet today, which leads to a lot of expansion in customers for online banking. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, yes, very much.
Okay, ma'am.
Now Vinod is also back.
Okay, ma'am. So I think it will be very important, and it's a crucial time for us to find out what is the customer intentions and how we can identify the customer needs and wants for the customers of today, and we can project it for the customers of tomorrow. In my research, I have studied a lot of literature regarding to customer intentions and usage patterns, and separately for online banking. And I've combined all these to take a survey with actually 110 respondents. I have studied first their basic information to find out the sample composition, and then I've also studied their customers' intentions, why they opt for online banking, and their usages, how much time they use on online banking, and how much transactions, how proficient they are, and what is their need in online banking. All that I've studied in customer intentions. And when you see usage patterns, I've studied what is their frequently opted thing for in online banking, what they opt for, and what they do not use frequently. All these things I've studied in usage patterns. In my survey and analysis of my sources, I've just easily charted them out so that this will be actually a base research for many more future researchers to come. Each research part in mine can be taken up for further researchers by extending the scope. In my research, I like to deliberate about the survey. The survey questionnaire actually consisted of basic information. In basic information, I have seen whether the respondents were male or female. In my research, 63% of them were males and 37 were female, 37% of sample population. And the education qualification, almost all of them were UG or PG graduates. They have studied undergraduate or graduate, nothing below or nothing above. Then the occupation, all of them, almost 70 to 75% were salaried employees, and the rest of the population constituted of students and business people. These two, students and business people, again, they also have computer proficiency, and salaried employees also have computer proficiency. So almost 100% of the population are proficient with internet, computers, and online banking. This was my sample population, and almost 90% had savings bank accounts. Those business people from the sample alone had current accounts, and they were using online banking technologies for these current accounts. Rest of them all had savings accounts. This was my sample population. And after that, in my survey, I've asked about customer intentions, why they opted for online banking. I have asked 3 options: ease of use, simpler and easier, and the last one was availability of internet. Everybody, none of them answered availability of internet, because availability of internet and online banking technologies are relatively very old. It's there from many years. But usage of use and the simpler customer friendly forum, online forum, is what actually attracted the customers to opt for online banking. When you consider all the salaried employees or business people, they have a lot of day-to-day work. They are not able to go to the bank and do each and every simple work in banks by going there, by spending time. So online banking actually gives them easier usage. They're easy to use, and they're also simpler. They reduce time. That is why they opt for online banking. So from this, what I found out is the more and more customer friendly online banking forum is, the more and more it will attract a customer to opt for online banking. When a simple transaction, if a customer is worried or scared about what will happen if I use it, and will it lead to some other repercussions, then they will not opt for online banking. They will feel it will be better for them to go in person and do it. Instead, the customer friendly forums is what is actually attracting them towards online banking. That is the main intention a customer looks for. And I've also, in customer intentions part, I've also studied how proficient they are with online internets and everything. I've for this study, I have asked them a question like how much time they spend in online every day. Almost 70 to 75% of them, they spend 1 to 5 hours for online for their personal usage every day. That is online time. And banking time, online banking time, when you see, they use it usually less than an hour. And each time they go, they do only one transaction. Just for one transaction, they go there, they do it on online, and they come back. They do not go in for bulk transactions. But if on a monthly basis, if you see, they do from 5 to 10 transactions. This is the average information that I studied from my samples. For a month, they do 5 to 10 transactions on an average. But each time they go in, they do one transaction and come out, it is less than 1 hour. The customer's main intention again is, they go in for a transaction, they want to complete it the time, the reduced time, and they want to come out. They do not want to spend time there, or they do not want to check other things. They just go in for a option, they do it, and they come back. This was the main findings and from my survey for customer intention. Again, in usage patterns, I have given them all the options that are available in an online banking forum. For example, I've given them share trading, I've given them FD and RD investments, I've given them mutual fund transactions, simpler fund transfers, simpler bill payments, all these things I've given them, and I've checked out of my 110 respondents, what and all they use, what is their usage in each and everything. If you see, the highest is for bill payments. Around 70% of my respondents use online banking for bill payments. And after that, the next best thing is online fund transfers. More than 50% of them, they use online fund transfers. This is the main reason they go in for online, and they do it. Only this they do it. The least, if you check, it is all investment options. For online, in online banking, they do not mostly opt for investment options like premium payments, mutual fund transactions, share trading, FD and RD. They do not opt online for this. Again, since this was the least, I again tried to break it down. I try to ask people, if you're trading shares, do you do it online or offline? If you do mutual fund investments, do you do it online or offline? In this, I found one thing: share trading is completely done online. The percentage of people who said they were trading shares, they all did it online. But if you take premium payments like LIC premium payments or other mutual fund premium payments, this was where a considerable amount of people, like 30% of people, who actually the 100% who did premium payments and mutual funds, out of these 30% of the people do it offline. That was a very considerable amount. FD and RD also, there was half and half. People did it both online and offline, but more amount of them did it online. It was only these premium payments that people opted for offline percentage more than the online. I think that my finding is that this is because there are agents available, LIC agents, mutual fund agents. They actually encourage them to go offline rather than online. They feel there is a personal touch with these agents. They have a friendly movement with these people, that they go in and they do it offline instead of online. This was what I did it in my survey. And in conclusion, in my survey, it was found out that the intention of the customer is easy usage. They want to have an ease of usage in online banking for them. And mostly they use bill payments and fund transfers. This is why they use online banking now. And if you want to expand the tomorrow's customer base, the banks have to do two things. The first thing is retain their original base. This is by making fund transfers and bill payments more easier. And the second thing is to attract new customers. This will be done by making investment decisions and investment options easier. This mutual fund payments, premium payments, and FD and RD, all these investment plans can be done even easier, and it can be even more given to the customers, so that to expand the new market. This is what I've concluded from my paper, ma'am.
Thank you, Agalya. And Meena Kumari?
This is my research.
Okay, I extend my warm welcome to Dr. Meena Kumari. Usually presentation, it starts after the welcoming, but this virtual platform, I think we can break all the protocols due to some delay. I am now kindly let me welcome Meena Kumari, Dr. Meena Kumari of Anna University MBA department, and her profile is really impressive and highly rich profile, and she has already guided 2 scholars, and even five more scholars are in the process, and more than 25 papers she has published in international and national journals, and she has also convened a lot of conferences, and she is heading almost all the centers in Anna University, I believe, because it is a long list. To mention a few, it is AICTE, IQAC, which are NIRF. These are all very important areas which decide the quality of any institution, and I'm very happy to see Dr. Meena Kumari as the coordinator of all those important centers, and she has 19 years of academic experience, previously with Ishwarya and Meenakshi Engineering College, and now presently she is also heading the distant education, which is one of the most important route of education for many working class. So that way it is really, I feel really happy to see Dr. Meenakshi. That's what her profile says. But beyond all that, I'm really proud to say that Meena Kumari is also a student of Fatima College, where I was working for nearly 20 years. So very happy to meet you here, Meena Kumari. And now over to Meena Kumari. You can also, consolidate what she was presenting for 5 minutes, and then we'll wind up. Okay, so thank you so much for being here. And also, Agalya, your presentation was really good, and you have covered almost all the important points. And of course, I do have 1 or 2 questions, maybe after consolidation. And okay. Thank you. Over to Meena. Meena Kumari, your audio, I think you should adjust. Audio. No. Galia, is it audible?
No, ma'am, it's not audible.
No. No. No, not audible. Agalya was audible.
Not audible, ma'am.
Am I audible to you? I think she was able to hear what I was. Here everything is okay. Maybe you'll have to remove the headphone and speak.
I have put, okay.
Yes, now it is okay. Yeah.
Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you hear?
Yeah. It is audible. Are you able to hear?
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for the warm welcome, ma'am. And I'm very happy to say that I'm a student of Uma, madam. I've been learning under her guidance for a long time, and I'm very happy to keep in touch with you throughout these years, ma'am. And then regarding the presentation of Ahalya, so she was talking about the intentions of customer towards banking, online banking, and the usage pattern of online banking. She was dealing it with clearly. She took up some variables, and during this pandemic period, the topic seems to be very appropriate, talking about online, usage of online services in especially in banking sector, which is one of the growing sector in India. So I have few questions to pose to Ahalya. Few questions. So now, Ahalya, can you just tell me how your who will benefit from your research? Who will be appropriate audience for the research you carried out? Ahalya, can you just answer this question?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, in my research, I have given a suggestion to online banking platforms. What is online banking platform today, and what is it doing to today's customers, and how can they expand it to their future customers? So in today's customers, I've said what the today's customers want and needs are, this I can project it to the future customers. This is why I've said investment decisions is very low, and they can use it to expand the future customers. And today the customers are mainly expecting the ease of usage. So this is mainly the people whom I'm giving this research to or suggesting is for the online banking forums. They can take this research and take the conclusions of this research to understand the customer's needs and wants and project it for the future use. This is basic. I'm giving their research for them. The benefiters out of this research is direct benefiters is online banking forums. They can expand their customer base, and indirect benefiters from my research is the users of online banking. If this is taken and if this is actually done, then indirectly they'll be used. Their needs and wants will be satisfied, ma'am.
Okay. Now, when you talk about usage pattern of online banking, now what are the difficulties faced by today's customer when they are using online banking? Almost everybody is using online banking. Now, can you just, based on your research, can you tell me what are the difficulties online banking poses? To the customers.
The difficulties or disadvantages is sometimes, yes, ma'am, the customers sometimes they feel the conventional method is easier. There's a thing they will not change from the conventional to the modern method. That is because they are scared or worried about what will happen in online banking. We see a lot of online banking frauds, and due to this OTP, this OTP comes and people call and ask us, give me a OTP. All these frauds is where they are actually scared. Some people, they may think conventionally going to a branch office, even though it takes time, I'd be in person and I'm sure the money is safe. That is what some people feel. And this security is what an online banking system has to provide to the customers. This is one of the major difficulty. All this online banking frauds and hacking and getting the banking passwords. These are the difficulties. The security is a major difficulty. And the other one is the not customer friendly online banking forums. So a first time user finds it difficult to come into an online banking platform and see it as easier and simpler way. It takes time for them to actually adapt to an online banking forum. There are two difficulties. One is online banking fraud systems, and the second one is non-customer friendly online banking forums. This is why people are finding it difficult to switch to online banking or to stay in online banking. They feel a personal touch will be even more better than the online banking forums.
Okay, how did you select samples for doing your survey? You did a survey method to find out about the usage pattern and intentions for online banking. How did you choose your sample? What technique you have used to choose a sample, and what more you did for what is your data collection instrument? Did you use online platform as a medium for data collection? Can you just expand on your methodology? Explain your methodology.
My methodology.
Yes, proceed.
Yes, ma'am. My methodology for this research was just a descriptive analysis. I did a basic descriptive analysis of sample composition and their responses. To select my sample, the one thing that it was not a random sampling, but I would say it was convenient sampling. Major thing is I wanted people who were proficient with computers and internet. So in that notion, I tried to select the samples who uses computer every day and they had a computer knowledge. I didn't want to include people who didn't even know what is computer and who didn't even had the knowledge of online banking existence. So I checked in people who are basically using computer every day and how much time they are spending to use it for online banking process and what is their need. This is because I am projecting it on the future customer base. We all know that in future the use increase day by day. The technology is keeping on increasing and it is going to all the far and nook and corners of the country. So I wanted to expand it, project it for the future. So I took a convenient sampling and I found out people who are proficient with computers. Thought that in future this population will be more in the actual population. This my sample population will be an actual projection of the actual population in future, and not very far future, in near future. That's why I chose this kind of sampling method. And I chose a survey technique because it is more or less an easier way of finding out what is their exact method. I didn't try to analyze it in other softwares. I just did a basic sample, keeping in mind this is a base research and a lot of researches can be done from this research. It's just a primitive one. So I did a basic analysis, descriptive analysis, and I used Google Forms to give out the survey questionnaire, and I collected response through Google Forms, ma'am. This is my methodology for this research.
Now, based on your research, can you tell me how the research can be extended in future? The same research, if you want to extend in future,
Yes,
what are the future directions for your research? What are the future directions for your research?
This is just a projection on future. Yes, ma'am. This is just a projection for the future. This is a very primitive research. Actually, I've taken both customer intentions and usage patterns. Customer intentions itself is a very big topic, and usage patterns itself is a very big topic. In usage patterns, I've given a lot of options like bill payments, fund transfers, and investment decisions. This is the major, but I had given so many choices in between. In this major, investment decisions is very low, and fund transfers is very high. Each scope, fund transfer is alone a different scope, investment decisions is alone a different scope. I've just broken down a very little and I've just given a primitive way. I tried to cover all the parts to give them an overall view. Each and everything is a different scope and everything can be again taken in and a deeper research can be conducted. This is how this project can be taken as a primitive research, and a lot of researches can be done based on this, ma'am.
Okay. Ma'am?
Okay, I think what I wanted to ask, she is already covered in her.
Thank you so much, Dr. Uma, for giving me an opportunity to present this paper. And the title of the paper is The Promoting a Positive Workplace Environment HR challenges and strategies to cope up during pandemic COVID-19. Yeah, as we all know that coming up with certain key events. In January 2020, the World Health Organization declared the outbreak of a new coronavirus COVID-19 to be a public health emergency of international concern. March 2020, WHO, means World Health Organization, made an assessment that COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic. So we can really see that how this pandemic COVID-19 coronavirus has really become a huge concern for the globe. As a game changer, COVID-19 has not only impacted the overall, cross-border countries and human life, but rather it has also impacted business organizations, HR consultants, HR managers to redesign, reimagine, and reevaluate a new way of transition and emergence of remote work environment. So we can see that there is a great paradigm shift has taken place whereby organizations are coming up with their operations on the digital platform. Now, talking about the challenges to the business, COVID-19 pandemic caused enormous disruption in business, and it may take many years to recover for some of the industries, if at all. The disruption is likely to lead to permanent shutdown of many businesses unable to bear the financial losses and disruptions caused by the pandemic. As we can see that once this pandemic outbreak was started in the month of March, and our country Prime Minister and other state ministers announced lockdown. So all of a sudden all the functions of the industry were badly hampered, and this really caused lot many financial losses. Cash flow dried up. Cash flow dried up, and flight of manpower became a huge challenge. Organizations had to quickly change themselves to adapt to a new world order. Talking again about the HR challenges, companies are trying their level best to cope up with these economic turbulence caused due to COVID-19 through the massive use of disruptive technology by working from home mode. People working from home are compelled to live in social isolation and social distancing, as it was being advised by our Prime Minister as well as the authorities to live in to maintain the social distancing part. Workforce management. So this all created the need for running the organizational operations on the digital platform itself, and this all leaded the organizations struggling with surpluses, shortages, competency gaps, scattered positioning. So HR should look for different formats of engagement and different ways to get people back and maintaining the synergy. If you remember and recall, I would like to again talk about those days when this pandemic outbreak took place, and how after the announcement of the lockdown and the maintaining the social distancing, how the majority of the workforce, majority of the workers from the industries, they migrated to their native place. So this all causes lot many disturbances in running the business operations. So, and shortages were there. Now talking about the expectations from HR, the first and foremost requirement is the people engagement, because people are already disconnected. Though the situation has improved a lot with the passage of time, but in the beginning, there was a complete disconnect with the people, because people were really, threatened that how to run all the business operations and various kinds of activity. And of course, this social isolation and social distancing caused people a lot of anxiety, fear, restlessness, stress, depression. So HR managers need to conduct various kinds of training program. It is the need of the hour. Various kinds of training program that may be related to the technology, that may be related to the communication program, that may be related to the behavioral aspect. Especially those areas are to be covered where there is a dearth of competencies are required at this stage. So HR fraternity need to fill these competency gap, both technically and non-technically, which I just stated right now. The key people would like to stay at their hometown. Then this was also a great cause of concern, because many working people still are not willing to come back, and really, they are ready to work at the physical work setting. They still wish to work from their home itself. So it has also become a great challenge for the HR people to engage them and involve them and getting work done for the organization. Then from the industry relation point of view, unions are also getting restless, because the workforce has already been scattered, they are already been migrated to their places. So it is the need of the hour to again, calling them back and asking their well-being and getting them actually involved with the HR people and the organizational people. Talking about the companies struggling the challenges, we can take these aspects like shortages of manpower, competency gaps, scattered positions, disrupted supply, and of course lack of synergy. Then there is a huge need from the side of the HR personnel or HR managers and organizational employer to skill and reskill and upskill their people. As we already know that there is a new way of work needs, already ask for the new kind of mindsets and new skills, including both technical and behavioral. So HR needs to have a strategy to address this key business issue. And coming up to this upskilling and reskilling, upskilling is basically a phenomena where the employees are supposed to learn the current tasks more deeply. And talking about the reskilling, it means that unlearning the old skills and learn new skills. Then the next challenge in front of the HR people is the people connect. So when lockdown was declared and organizations and industries started facing this issue, around 80% of the people from the organized sector went homeless overnight, because industries were already shut down, operations were already hampered. So the need of the hour is to reconnect with those people, either by calling them via phone and asking their well-being. Apart from that, many people do not possess the sophisticated systems along with the headsets, video cameras, high-speed connectivity, because majority of the people are staying in remote areas and they are also not having that skill sets to manage all. So assisting such people by giving them training about the technology as well as availing all the facilities to such employees is also a good way to cope up with this challenge in front of the employer, HR personnel and consultants. Then it is also helpful to deploy the tenets of positive psychology, which is actually, people are needing, including resiliency, positivity, psychological safety. employers can play a very important role in bringing such tactics to the virtual workplaces in which their employees operate. Then there is one more concern in front of the HR people is to maintaining the normalcy, because people are already accustomed of working in a proper schedule before pandemic COVID period. So when they are already isolated and they are living at home and they are working from home more, but they still need a kind of regular the employer as well as the HR people to lay the groundwork for the employees. And that also includes establishing and agreeing upon the goals, along with the regular measurement of the progress of the goal achievement. So it is also very critical to give the employees, to give a place where employees can really feel themselves connected to the organization. So that is the need of the hour. And of course, it is an excellent time to step up certain recognition program. I think this conducting these recognition program once in a while, in a month or in 2 months, it is really very important and urgent need to making your people engaged, and involved with the organizational activities, because when you motivate your people, when you energize your people by giving certain kind of recognition to your employees in terms of certain incentives or in terms of certain benefits or asking their well-being or providing them all kinds of benefits and assistance, be it emotionally, be it physically, be it financially, whatsoever is the way out, then people already feel a sense of connection with the employer. Then there is also the great, I should say, an urgent, need to look after, to provide the right kind of infrastructure. When we talk about the infrastructure, because we know that people are already working from home, then companies, it is very much essential for the companies to, equip their people who are actually, performing each and every task by remote working, by staying back at their home. They can always provide a kind of allowances to set up a home office where they can actually, work uninterrupted. This allowances can cover a variety of needs, be it a high-speed internet connection, power backup, necessary gadgets and devices, and even office equipment like desk and ergometric chair. Because it depends on the type of the work. It depends on the type of the assignment. What kind of assignment, what kind of task is to be performed by the people. At times what happens that it takes longer hours to complete the task. So as a HR person, as an organizational employer, it is a great responsibility to look after the needs and wants and comfort of your people, to make your people more to have a sense of belongingness and sense of remaining connected. Then the next part comes is the collaboration. When we talk about the collaboration, as a HR person, as a organizational employer, it is not just that you instruct your people to log in and you need to impose your instructions and tell them how to do things. It is okay. But apart from that, you as a senior, you come your people creative ideas, their innovative ideas, their creative solution, because we should not forget this fact that nowadays employees are also very skilled and very talented, and at times they come up with very fantastic and wonderful suggestions. So we need to always welcome them. Then apart from that, there is also a need to provide the various meeting tools, chat apps, and data sharing software, and encouraging the video calls more often. And at times what happens that during the weekends time, as an employer, you can always, conduct a kind of virtual lunch, virtual breakfast, and virtual dinner, and a sort of get together also, where people can really meet with each other's family members. They can share their emotions, they can share their they can express their thought process. So that also uh, uh, maintains and equips your people to be more mentally balanced and physically healthy, and more engaged to the organization. Then again, this part is talking about the employee health and mental well-being, because I personally feel that all depends and all originates from the person's mindset. So if the person's mindset and thought process is properly channelized, and if it is really very healthy, then the person is automatically going to perform any kind of function in a very well manner. So this is the part and role of the HR people to develop a culture of having video hangouts every week or twice in a week, whatever, I mean, as per the company's policy or as per the employer convenience or the HR people convenience, that where exactly team members can log in remotely to play games and catch up with the colleagues. So you need to actually, create a very informal kind of system to make your people feel more comfortable. Apart from that, it is also important for the companies to evolve and change to ensure that the workforce is rebooted as per the prevailing surroundings. Your people need to be very, very smarter. Your people need to be very competent, and this can only be done through virtual acclimatization and by maintaining the virtual relationship management programs. Then apart from that, managing your employees or personnel mental health and psychological well-being during this critical period, during this crisis, is also a very important aspect, and where you can always educate your people to get involved to every day, in some or the other physical exercises or yoga or meditation. And for this, at times you can also conduct the stress management programs also, where people can actually learn the various tools and technology to de-stress themselves. And then, of course, there is also a great need for introducing a transparent appraisal process and reward system, where you can actually, during this COVID period, you can actually announce at times the outstanding efforts or extra efforts which is being put forward by your people, and you can always, give certain kind of monetary or non-monetary rewards based as per your company policy. Then these are the various other strategies also to maintain the mental health and well-being of the people, minimizing watching. You should always advise your people to be away from the negative kind of news or various kinds of rumors or misinformation. And apart from that, always suggest your people to remain involved in some or the other kind of physical exercises, as I have already stated in my previous just now slides, and yoga and meditation. And this is all about my presentation. And now I would be inviting some question and answer session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Meenakshi. It was a wonderful presentation and also currently relevant. Yeah, we do have two questions from the audience. That is, one thing is the difference between upskilling and skilling. Okay, that is reskilling. I think you mentioned about that, and they want some more explanation on that part.
Yeah, definitely, ma'am. As we can very well see this during this pandemic COVID outbreak, that organizational operations and functioning part has absolutely changed. Uh, Prior to this pandemic period, things were being conducted at the physical workplace, but now majority of the operations are being conducted on the digital platform. So there is a very urgent need for the HR employer and HR consultants and organizational top authorities to equip and instill a new kind of mindset where they can actually adapt themselves towards this new technology or new skills set which is really needed from their side. So talking about the upskilling and reskilling, which I have already elaborated and explained in my delivery, but yes, of course there is urgent need to unlearn the two old kind of things and learning the new skills with a new mindset about the technology, about the behavioral pattern, about the how to present in the digital platform. And of course there is a great and need of conduction of the various kinds of communication training programs related to the communication, related to the behavioral training, related to the stress management or emotional quotient or emotional intelligence, as well as mental health and emotional well-being. So this is all about the...
Thank you for the clarification. And one more thing is, how will you define people connect? There is another question on how will
Can you please repeat it again?
How will you define people connected people? Define people connect.
Yes. What I think that personally, what I feel that when this pandemic COVID outbreak took place in the month of March, I think it was 22nd March or 24th March, then that time majority of the industries were in a very shocking state, and they were in a very in formulating the strategies for the forthcoming days, that how to run the operation. And after the announcement of the lockdown and social distancing, which was to be maintained by the people, thousands of workers were already being migrated to their native places. So there was a kind of people disconnect. So during this pandemic period, the HR people or the organizational employer are actually supposed to again reconnect with those people, either by calling them and asking their well-being, or when we talk about the asking their well-being, it means that many of them are not having the various kinds of facilities. So it is the responsibility of the employer and the top authority people to assist their people, to assist their employees, be it financial, be it mental, be it a kind of a sense of creating a sense of belongingness, and getting those people back to the work and for the smooth running of the organization. This is what I feel, which is the need of the hour.
Thank you so much, Meenakshi. That was an excellent presentation, and the input that you have given is very much relevant for the current issue that we are all facing. And thank you so much for joining us, and we have recorded it, and we'll also share the YouTube link later. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. Great regards to you. Thank you.
Recording starts. Recording is starting. Okay, and we have editing process also. So don't bother. Please relax, madam. Here, Madam Meenakshi, Dr. Meenakshi. and she's a HR person. I should really, thank her for a short brainstorming session in the beginning, even before we call it ice breaking session. Okay, before we start the session, maybe it has come automatically for her. She has done the little ice breaking for us. Some chat we had in the beginning, that is really great. Okay, and Dr. Meenakshi, I saw your profile and it is highly impressive profile. She has got more than 16 years of experience, but you don't look so. Okay, you look very young, and I think yeah. And she has got a lot of training experience, research experience in corporate as well as institution. And she's a former head and professor of Lingya University, Haryana. Am I pronouncing it right? I don't know, but please put up with that pronunciation. And now presently she is with Accurate Institution as the professor. And she is also associated with many leading B schools like Ict Ic-Time University and many other institutions. And she has given training for various segments and especially women executives. She has done a lot of leadership training program, and beyond all this profile, because this is her instruction to me. I have sent a profile, madam. I have sent a profile. So I have followed your profile. But beyond all this profile, what really touched me was her approachable nature. She is highly approachable personality. And whenever I called her, she was very kind enough to leave all her work or managing her time and talking to me. And I think at least 4 or 5 times I would have talked to her. And almost she has become now she has become a close friend of mine. Okay, and that way I am really fortunate. Sometimes conferences, always I tell, I have done more conferences, but always I tell that more than knowledge sharing, it is networking. Okay, it is not only with a chairperson like and a resourceful person like Meenakshi madam, but also youngsters like Priya Diwan, budding leaders, I should say. I don't know whether they are budding leaders or already equipped leaders. But then, because you have a chairperson here, let us call you all budding leaders, Priya Diwan and Harshuta, and maybe it is Meenakshi's training. Before you were joining, they were, I had an interaction with them, and they are very positive and highly positive, I should say that, and composed, highly organized, and this is what I could observe within 2-3 minutes, from them. And I am sure your input in this conference is definitely going to add value, and it will reach out to many segments. It is not like other conferences, like where offline conference, it will get over on the same day. Whereas this is online conference, we record also, right? Anytime we can share this with anybody. I mean, corporate executives, or professionals, students, scholars, anybody across the globe, not only in India or in Tamil Nadu or in Madurai, it is across the globe, anytime to anybody. So the reach of this conference is high. So I value this as a very good method of following virtual conference. Though of course it is due to pandemic we started, but then I have decided to continue this like this, because we are able to network with many, and also it is ever dated. It is not like we are organizing conference on such and such a day, it is over. Okay, it is highly flexible. We can use the content anytime. Okay, so with this very brief introduction about the conference and about the 3 resourceful people and an excellent leader, Dr. Meenakshi madam here. Okay, with this very brief introduction, let me hand over the session to Dr. Meenakshi. Thank you so much, and now over to Dr. Meenakshi.
First of all, I would really like to convey my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Uma ma'am, that who is such a wonderful person. And it's not that the way you are praising me, it's not all about the praises, but I have also interacted with you so many times. I think 5 to 6 times I interacted with you, and in first or second interaction I was not very well aware of you, but later on with the passage of time, as I kept on, interacting, I started interacting with you. I found you very jovial, very friendly, and a very good, as a professional person. So I'm feeling really very delighted, dear madam. And for this, I would like to convey my heartfelt thanks and gratitude to you that you all the way searched me from somewhere and you approached me and invited me to be part of this conference. So I really, I'm really very much overwhelmed at the moment. And I again thank you from deep core of my heart. And the moment I came to know about this conference, I immediately approached my few students who are, pursuing their PhD under my supervision. So among them, I found Priya and Harshita, and you yourself are able to see them now. So in this virtual conference, first of all, with lot many thanks to you uh, for calling me as a speaker, for calling me to chair the session. I think this is the second round of technical session. So I welcome you all in this virtual ICT enabled international conference, which is being organized by Unique Research and Consultancy Services. So before I start my own delivery, I would like to introduce the participant and among them, ma'am, is this slide is visible to you? Slide is visible to you?
No, you'll have to share your screen. Have you shared? You have not shared. You are seeing your slide. Yes, now it is visible. Yes, now it is visible.
Okay.
Now you can start.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yes, yes. Now you can start.
So before I start my delivery, as you have already spoken to these both candidates, and there are many other participants who will be presenting the paper. So among them, a few of them are Priya Diwan and Harshita Verma, whom I will be introducing when they will be, presenting their paper. And coming to my own, title, theme, which I am going to speak today, is the promoting a positive workplace environment, HR challenges and strategies to cope up during the pandemic COVID-19. So to start with, in January 2020, the World Health Organization declared the outbreak of a new coronavirus disease, COVID-19, to be a public health emergency of international concern. Then in March 2020, WHO made an assessment and characterized it as a pandemic. So we can very, well see this issue that how this pandemic COVID-19 has really become a huge concern for the globe for an indeterminable period of time. And as a game changer, COVID-19 has impacted human life as well as organization at a global perspective at the cross-border level, and challenged challenged the organizational consultants, organizational employers and managers to analyze, to re-evaluate, to rethink, to redesign and reimagine a new way of transition and emerging of, remote working areas, remote working mode of, functioning. And apart from that, I would also like to include this thing that there has been a great paradigm shift has taken place. Like previously, organizations were working at a physical platform, and now they have completely shifted on the digital platform, and they are using the massive digital technology to perform their various kinds of functions. Now, talking about the challenges to the business, COVID-19 pandemic caused enormous disruption in business, and it may take many years to recover for industries. As we are our own eyes, we are able to see that in what manner it has, disrupted the overall economy. So the disruption is likely to lead to permanent shutdown of many businesses and unable to bear the financial losses and disruptions caused by the pandemic. Cash flow dried up for all the sectors due to the lack of economic activities, because there were many of the industries like aviation industry, like food processing industry, like film industry, and many more industries, those operations were completely hampered. But there are certain industries which are really, able to manage the operations little smoother, in a smoother way, with the passage of time. Then of course there is a flight of manpower became a huge challenge, and organization had to quickly change themselves to a new world order. Now, again, talking about the challenges, companies are trying to cope up with economic turbulence caused due to COVID-19 through the massive usage of disruptive technology, which I already stated. And this all, I should say, enforced organizational personnel as well as people to work from home mode. Workforce management is struggling with surpluses, shortages, competency gap, and scattered positioning. So HR is really, required to look at the different formats of engagement and different ways to get people back and maintaining the synergy. While speaking these lines, I would like to remind to all of you that how, when this pandemic COVID outbreak was announced in our country, and due to that, majority of the industries shut down their activities, and due to all these reasons, many of the workforce, many of the workers, migrated to their native countries all of a sudden. And due to this complete lockdown and maintaining the social distancing process. Now the question comes that what are the expectations from HR, we people, or the employee, as an employee or as a, part of the organization, we do expect from them. Because of this pandemic COVID outbreak, people have already, got disconnected from the organization. So there is an urgent need of the people engagement, because people are being isolated and, maintaining the social distancing. They are complaining, majority of the people are complaining and anxiety, fear, restlessness, stress, depression. So HR managers really, they are required to conduct the communication programs or various kinds of training programs, especially on few areas where exactly few dearth of competency gap is required at this stage. So HR fraternity are really, required to fill these competency gap, whether it is related to the technology aspect or it is related to the non-technology aspect. The key people would like to stay at their hometown. So it is also a very important part of the HR people to bring those key people back to the, organization, or somehow by calling them or by, asking their well-being. Then supply chain and value chain issues are also becoming a great cause of concern. So talking about the overall challenges, there are shortages of manpower, competency gap, scattered positions, disrupted supply, and lack of synergies there. Then of course there is a great need of, skilling and reskilling and upskilling, because the new ways of work needs new skill, because all the activities of the organizations are being performed on digital platform. So people are required to upskill them and reskill them. And who else will do this kind of work? None other than HR people. So it is the responsibility of the organization, employer as well as HR people, to train those people, to upskill those people when we talk about the upskilling, means learning the current tasks more deeply. And when we talk about the reskilling, it means unlearn old skills and learn the new skills to survive and remain competent in the present environment. I have already stated about this people connect, that many people do not possess sophisticated systems along with the headsets and video cameras, high speed connectivity, and skills to manage all. So assisting such people by giving them all sorts of training, whether it is related to technology, whether it is related to the behavioral aspect, or whether it is related to the imparting training based on the for maintaining their mental well-being and emotional health. That is the need of the hour, and that should be really looked after by the employers or HR personnel and consultants. And of course, there is one more responsibility of the people, HR people, is to maintain the normalcy. Talking about the maintaining the normalcy, because people are accustomed of working in the real work settings. So HR personnel and organizational employers are supposed to lay the groundwork for normalcy, including establishing and agreed upon the goal, and along with the regular measurement of the progress and goal achievement. So there is also urgent need to introduce the recognition programs also, that should be conducted by HR people from time to time, where they can really make their people recognized in front of the employer, so that people uh, staying back at their home, they should really have a sense of belongingness. They should really feel very much connected. Then of course, uh, other aspect, if we talk about, then we need to provide, as a HR personnel, as an organizational employer, they need to provide the right kind of infrastructure. Because people are supposed to, because we are not aware of that till what time period this pandemic is really going to be prolonged. So companies are really required to uh, uh, ensure that employees are well equipped to deal with remote working practices by offering them an allowances to set up a home office where they can work uninterrupted. The allowances can cover a variety of needs, be it high-speed internet connection, power backup, necessary gadgets, and devices. Now, coming to the next slide, collaboration. This is also a great responsibility of the HR people to be collaborated along with their people, either by ensuring the platform or meeting tools, chat apps, and data sharing software, and encouraging video calls. Then HR people are also required to look after the employees' health and mental well-being by introducing or conducting certain stress management programs, or by talking about the yoga or meditation. And of course, it is also one of the responsibility of HR people that time to time they should also conduct the meeting, and they should wish their employees, specifically on their birthday or anniversary or any other ceremony. And apart from that, the companies can also conduct various kinds of reward system. There should be a kind of providing the reward system, especially to those people who are actually performing extraordinary and outstanding, to make them more recognized and and respected and being the part of the organization. Apart from that, HR people are supposed to ensure that workforce is to be rebooted and get smarter through virtual acclimatization and virtual relationships. Then of course, I have already stated that there should be a transparent appraisal process and reward system. People are supposed to be provided various kinds of reward, sometime money, salary, incentives, bonuses, which is actually is not I should say, very seriously looked by the people, and which people really need. And of course, non-monetary reward means making them, giving a sense of satisfaction by giving them name, fame, and recognition. So, last but not the from the trusted source, and of course, uh, they should be remaining away from the rumors and misinformations. And as an HR people, you are always supposed to narrate the story of those people who were infected by the corona, and somehow as a winner, as a warrior, they won that struggle, and they again came back, and they started working. So as a HR people, as an organizational employer, we really need to always inspire and encourage our people. And
Thank you so much.
Digitalization of the economy, to examine the impact of COVID-19 on online business, to interpret the change in consumer behavior patterns, and lastly, to identify the reason for a shift from the physical world to the virtual world. In this paper, I have observed as a research scholar that various industrialists, startups are trying their level best for innovation, and even government policies like Digital India are being framed in this regard. Data collection has been done via secondary sources. Here, I have emphasized on the significance of Industry 4 and how organizations are adopting it in their setup. Manufacturers are utilizing industry and artificial intelligence for adding direction to their value chain. By means of augmented reality and virtual reality, they are able to attract clients with a better approach. Since the second half of COVID-19, it has been spreading up widely. It is resulting in the growth of e-commerce businesses. Apptopia has connoted that day-to-day downloads of basic food item applications like Amazon, Big Basket, Grofers has seen new heights. This pandemic changed the consumer behavior patterns totally in retail sector too. All the big exhibitions, meetings, games, social events like political rallies have gone online. So now let's see how this change from a physical world to a virtual world replaces a significant issue of human touch. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Priya.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, thank you so much, Priya. It was really, wonderful session, and you covered lot many areas. Like you talked about changing scenario of business ecosystem in virtual world. Then you also covered the massive use of disruptive technology in majority of the industry, especially in education industry and many other industries. Apart from that, you also talked about the impact of industry in digitalization of the economy and changing consumer behavior and various reasons for shifting from you also focused on various reasons from shifting from for shifting from physical workplace to the virtual workplace. So I thank you very much. And now I would like to welcome Harshita Verma. And as far as introduction is concerned, she is a research scholar from Lingyaj University, and she would be she would be talking on impact of pandemic COVID-19 on human life.
Thank
So
you so
over
very
to you,
much.
Harshita.
Thank you so very much, ma'am, for giving me this opportunity where I will be able to express my views on the impact of pandemic COVID-19 on human life. If I'll talk about the part that I will be discussing over here my paper is going to examine the impact of COVID-19 outbreak on employees' mental health, specifically psychological distress, aiming at identifying the main stresses during the post-COVID-19, examining the main moderating factors, which may mitigate the impact of COVID-19 on employees' mental health. This research paper has also come up with the recommendation from the management perspective to mitigate COVID-19 impact on employees' mental health. And if I talk about the various impacts that we can see of COVID-19, there are various industries where we can absolutely see the impact of COVID-19, which will be education industry, airlines industry, of course, tourism and hospitality. If I'll talk about the education industry here, so here, school-going children are naturally the worst affected education sector stakeholders. For the people, the lockdown doesn't just mean reduce the cash flow or a professional setback. It represents an interpretation to the learning journey. Again, I'll say many education institutes are run as not for the profit or to generate the minimal profits. This means that by and large, there is a lack of reserves to deal with an extended shutdown. The next industry which has been widely impacting that is one of my favorite, I'll say, that's the film industry. Here in film industry, we are well aware about it that because of COVID-19, it's a huge massive impact in 2020 across the world, and to varying degrees, cinemas and movie theaters have been closed. Festivals have been cancelled or postponed, and film releases have been moved to future dates or delayed indefinitely. If I'll talk about the Chinese film industry, had lost more than US $2 billion by March 2020, having all its cinemas been closed in the Lunar New Year period that sustains the industry across the Asia. And these days, the next impact that we all are following is our social distancing. Nobody has ever imagined about it that we are going to, keep a distance between two of the people, and we have to wear the mask, and then we have to talk to each other. If I'll talk about the social distancing, the loss of social connection that we are facing for those who were laid off and those who required work from home is less obvious impact of COVID-19. However, we know from research that high quality social interaction, including informal chats and among co-workers, are essential for mental and physical health. Handshakes are another social activity we know to be valuable that can no longer be practiced anymore. And then we have our next industry which has been impacted, that is our hotel industry, which will say our hospitality and our tourism industry. The pandemic has confronted the hospitality with an unprecedented challenge. Strategies to flatten the COVID-19 curve, such as community lockdown, social distancing, stay-at-home order, travel and mobility restrictions, have resulted in temporary closure for many hospitality business and significantly disgraced. However, the reopening process has slowly begun and authorities have started to ease restrictions. For example, allow dine-in restaurant to open at reduced capacity with strict social distancing guidelines. And then we have our airlines industry. Of course, there's a massive impact where we all have a huge restrictions not to travel from here to there. The significance of this aviation industry is due to the travel restrictions and the slump in demand among travelers. According to some commenters, the insurance crisis is the worst ever encountered in the history of the aviation industry that we all have ever faced. If I'll come at the conclusion part of my PPT, here the conclusion will be that the COVID-19 pandemic outbreak has forced many businesses to close, leading to unprecedented disruption of commerce in most industry sectors. However, successfully navigating these challenges will not guarantee a promising future at all. Companies, especially startups, have implemented an indefinite hiring freeze. At the same time, only communication online entertainment, online shopping are unprecedented growth. I will recommend you, or I will recommend our society here, that the effect of the corona pandemic will imprint the personality of our nation for a very long time. The effect of the virus has been such that we have been locked inside our houses. While work from home might have been sounded like the best idea normal days, at the moment the situation is turning stressfully for many. Thus, the government is doing the best safeguard its citizens and the people are trying to best to follow the ground rules. This is the only time where we all have to stand united for all for one and one for all. We can support our well-known and we can certainly give them the motivation to handle the situation peacefully and handle it. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Harshita, for expressing your thoughts in such a fantastic manner. And in your paper, you, Harshita, in fact, tried to cover various aspects related to the impact of COVID-19 outbreak on employees' mental health, especially how people are feeling during this, pandemic COVID period, how restless and depressed and psychologically low people feel. And she also talked about the what all are those strategies which can be adopted by the people to come out to come out all these stressful situation. Apart from that, she also emphasized the impact of COVID-19 coronavirus on various industries, where she tried to express that many of the industries like film industry or aviation industry and other few industries, how they are badly hampered and their operations are stopped. So this was a really wonderful insight which you try to give in your paper. And so with this, I would like to conclude that this second round of technical session was really very fantastic. And for giving this platform, I would like to convey my heartfelt thanks again to organizer and Dr. Uma, that she gave us such a platform where you all participants and myself could express our feelings and thoughts. So thank you, Uma ma'am. Thank you so much for such a wonderful meeting on virtual platform and expressing our views on this platform. Thank you so much. Regards.
Most welcome, Dr. Meenakshi. It is our pleasure to have you all here and wonderful points. But we do have one or two questions for Priya and Harshita. Priya, you were speaking about secondary sources. Maybe know which are all the sources, because I found it all. It was quite informative. So can you mention few secondary sources from where you got such valuable information?
Ma'am, I was referring various journals, as the pandemic period is in the recent era. So whatever journals I was going up through in the management field, be it Asian Business Journal or European Journal, I even cited one of the papers of Meenakshi ma'am's also. That also contains all the relevant information related to pandemic, digitalization.
Okay, please do include all that in your bibliography. When you give full paper, add all that in your bibliography. Okay, that would be more useful for the
Definitely,
reader.
ma'am. I've already done that.
You have done that. That is really great. Okay, and Harshita, you were speaking about aviation industry. I think one of the biggest hit industry is aviation industry due to mobility, and then across the border, across the even from state to state. Now it is like crossing the border. We'll have to get e-pass and all to move from one district to even another district. Okay, so how do you think this challenge is going to be managed in future? Because aftermath is going to be more impactful than even what we are facing now. This, when it comes to aviation industry, that too. Do you have any specific suggestion for removing that emotional fear from the consumers? That is more important, right? Customers to even travel by flight now, they'll think twice. So what do you think maybe the recommendation, strong recommendation to take care of that emotional part of the customer?
Well, thank you, ma'am, so for giving me the opportunity to give you the answer for this. Well, here, ma'am, if I would like to inform you that myself, I'm working with an airlines industry, so I can certainly feel that there are many passengers and people who are scared to travel. They have this emotional scarcity in their mind. I can only give them the advice. This is the current situation. We have to face it together. We can't handle it. We know until and unless the vaccine won't come, but at least we can motivate ourselves within ourselves. Yes, we can take all of the precautions that have been imposed by the government, and there are certain guidelines that we have to follow, because our government is helping us by giving the certain guidelines. If we will follow them and if we will travel, we will be able to cope up with that emotional thing. But still, again, I'll say it is very, very important for us to keep the precautions in our mind and to take care of them. And if I'll talk about in the next coming years, for the aviation industry, as of now, there is a massive loss that the aviation industry, as you have correctly mentioned, that this is the only industry that have suffered the most. So in order to come up again in the next coming years, again, the aviation industry still is taking too many precautions for the safety of the passengers. But as as we all know, our safety comes in our hand. So we have to make sure that we keep our safety in our hands while traveling.
Thank you so much, Sarshita.
Thank you,
And
ma'am.
thank you to the entire team, and especially, my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Meenakshi for joining us with your team. And now I think emotionally we are also a little more relaxed because, session is over with wonderful tech. Okay? So thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Bye.